Well, let's test this one out and see if this will actually work. I was having issues getting this texture to actually show up, so I'm going to show you what I'll find is acceptable for this particular one. So I'm going to hit start, and now it wants me to select the subject. So I'm going to click select subject. It's going to grab the guy, and now it's letting me know that the copies have been copied to a new layer, but that is not true. So what we need to do is we need to actually create a new copy of this. So I'm going to make this new layer, but I'm going to go back to this background, and I'm actually going to go to layer, new, layer via copy. So now when I turn these off, you can see this layer has everything. This layer has just the guy, and this is going to be the blank layer that we're going to paint on. So what we're going to need to do with this is we're going to need to move this around. So I did this out of order, so I'm going to move this one up. So we want to have the full background, a blank layer, and just the guy leaning up against the wall. All right, now I'm going to hit next. Hit next. Now, I don't like the way they do this. It says select the period, which is super hard to tell. It's that little symbol right there. Hold your mouse. We're going to look for the art history brush. So hold your mouse button down on it and don't choose history, choose art history. So I'm going to do that one. Now I'm going to go to window and I'm going to change the brush settings so I can make them not only bigger, but I can change the kind of brush. If you look at these, there's different types of brushes. Mine might look different than yours because I've got some other brushes installed. But for this, let's start first with changing the size of the brush to 250. And then down here near the bottom, we want to adjust the spacing to about 20%. If I made this really big, you can kind of see what happens. I would drag across and it would have a whole lot more dots and things showing up. And I think that might be an area, now that I look at this, that may have been off because this is keeping it consistent. We'll come back to this one in a minute and see if that is the actual problem. All right, so now that I have that, I'm going to click on next. And then I'm going to change the style of this brush from being tight and short to being dab. And I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click next again. And then I want to make sure that I select this. It says layer 2, but since I did these out of order, the names are off. So I'm just going to click this one. And then since that has nothing on it, that's where we're going to actually paint. So to begin painting, it says it samples the colors from the save history, and then it uses the brush and splatters them around. We'll see. Mine turned out really blurry when I did this one. Yeah, see, it's showing up, and it's really, really just blur. So what I want to do, I'm going to do a quick test, and if this doesn't work quickly, then I'm going to just have you blur the thing out, and we'll call it a day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here to the brush settings, and let me experiment with this. I'm going to move this up to 200. Okay. And let me look at the shape dynamics. I'm going to change the size jitter to about 15%. And let's test this and see what it looks like. So now, again, make sure you're on this first layer. Yeah, that's not really doing much. But we're going to call it a day with this one because I don't think this one's worth doing in that style. I mean, there's different ways to do this and have it apply different things. The main thing I'm looking for is just that it's kind of changed the background up. It's not one of the better ones that I think looks good. If we want to do that kind of texture that's in the tutorial, I can show you another way to do that later on. So from here, you can go ahead and build up that effect, get to the check mark, and just have these kind of splatters, and that'll be good enough for this one.